There is a hush before the world howls. A moment, fragile and fleeting, when the sky itself seems to inhale. When the city hasn't yet revved its engines. When the coffee hasn't percolated. When the notifications haven't clawed at your peace. That moment is yours, and it is holy. The beginning of a day is a brushstroke, one that either sharpens your soul or smears your spirit into the smog. So how do you start your day with Jesus? Not just as a devotional checkbox, but as an all-consuming, electrifying, sacred rebellion against despair. First, abandon the notion that Jesus is a segment of your morning routine, some polite spiritual garnish beside your espresso. He's not a part. He is the point. Starting your day with Christ means waking up like a warrior, soul still sore from yesterday's battle, but spirit stubborn and still singing. It means beginning not with a scroll, but a surrender. Open your eyes, and before the world crashes into your consciousness, speak his name. Not as a whisper of obligation, but as a banner raised above your bed. Jesus. Let it be a prayer, a proclamation, a protest. You don't need eloquence. You need awe. You don't need rhythm. You need reverence. Too many of us reach for our phones like they're sacred relics, glowing in the half-light like false gods. Instead, reach for the truth. A Bible on your nightstand isn't a decoration. It's a weapon, a map, a mirror, and most of all, a window into the only kingdom that cannot be shaken. But don't approach Scripture like a textbook or a to-do list. Read it like a starving soul breaking bread. Let the word interrupt you. Let it offend you. Let it comfort and confront and call you. Let it wake you up in the truest sense. Because what good is it to be awake if you are not aware? Some mornings feel like mountaintops, radiant, righteous, full of fire. Others feel like crawling out of a cave of exhaustion. But both are sacred ground if your feet hit the floor with purpose. To start your day with Jesus is to step into your identity before you step into your inbox. You are not your calendar. You are not your cravings. You are a temple with breath in your lungs, a soul stitched by God himself, sent back into the chaos with Christ as your compass. Want something practical? Begin with breath. Deep, deliberate, defiant breath. Inhale grace. Exhale fear. Let your breathing be prayer, your posture be praise. Before your coffee, drink in the presence of the one who brewed the galaxies. Sit still, or stand tall, or kneel. The form doesn't matter, the focus does. Write. Even if your handwriting's sloppy, or your thoughts are jumbled. Keep a journal that isn't polished or profound, but personal. Write your worries. Scribble your surrender. Doodle your dreams and let them be sanctified. Jesus meets us not just in cathedrals and clean spaces, but in the cluttered corners of our minds. Worship, quietly or loudly. Whether it's a whispered hymn, a bold shout, or a silent ache turned into music, let something rise from you. Turn on a worship song, not just for background noise, but as foreground warfare. Dance in your room. Cry in your car. Raise your hands as if the weight of the world was never yours to carry. Pray, but don't recite. Converse. Rant. Lament. Laugh. Prayer isn't performance, it's presence. Tell him what you're dreading. Tell him what you're dreaming. Invite him not just into your crisis, but into your commutes, your coffee runs, your conversations, your calendar. Build an altar in your schedule. Maybe it's 5 minutes. Maybe it's 50. The amount matters less than the intention. Don't think quantity. Think intimacy. Think honesty. Think urgency. The devil doesn't tremble when you go through the motions. He trembles when you mean it. Get outside if you can. Let the sun preach its silent sermon. Let the trees lift their leafy arms in praise. Let the wind remind you of the Spirit who moves where it wills. Nature isn't God, but it testifies, loudly and wordlessly, to his presence. Even a crack of sky between buildings can feel like Eden if your eyes are open. Speak scripture over yourself. Not just read it, but declare it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you're punching through lies with truth. This is the day the Lord has made. Say it when you don't feel it, especially when you don't feel it. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Not because of your circumstances, but in spite of them. Fight the urge to wait until you feel spiritual. Feelings are flaky. Faith is fire. Sometimes the holiest mornings are the ones you crawl through. Sometimes starting your day with Jesus is as simple and defiant as refusing to give up before you begin. Guard your input. The news, the noise, the numbness of the feed. Don't let it poison your peace. Your mind is a garden. What you plant in the morning blooms or withers by night. Start with what is lovely, true, and eternal, not what's trending. Invite him into the grind, into the gym, into the classroom, into the boardroom. Starting your day with Jesus doesn't end with your quiet time. It continues as a current running beneath everything you do. When your life becomes your liturgy, your whole day becomes worship. Some days you'll feel it. Some days you won't. Start anyway. He meets us in consistency, in commitment, in coffee-scented silence and chaotic kitchens alike. Grace doesn't need a mood to move. And when you forget, and you will, don't spiral. Start again. Midday, midnight, morning after 1,000 mistakes. There is no expiration on mercy. His presence doesn't operate on human time zones. The invitation is always open. To start your day with Jesus is to declare, before anything else happens, who you are and whose you are. It is to armor up, to anchor down, to lift your eyes before you lift your burdens, to choose joy while the shadows still linger, to say yes to light when the world is addicted to darkness. It is gritty grace in a tired world. It is rebellion against apathy. It is romantic, radical, and relentless. It is not just for the disciplined. It is for the desperate. So tomorrow, or right now, or both, before the noise and the numbness, before the headlines and heartbreaks, before you pick up your phone or your pace, start with Jesus. Because when he is first, everything else finds its place.
Smash that like button, drop a comment, and hit subscribe. Then check out Faith Mode, where premium streetwear meets gospel grit. faithmode.com.